The Treasure of the Imu Buruku, Final Episode 2. I thought the story of Adana ended the night she returned from the Forbidden River with the treasure. People danced, the drums thundered, the whole village shouted her name as if she was a goddess herself. A prince from another land came to marry her. She became the envy of every girl, the pride of every man. They said the river had finally blessed us. But those of us who looked closely saw something different. Her smile was white, her beads were bright, her wrappers were fine. But her eyes were not here. They were somewhere far away, cold and empty, like she was listening to a voice no one else could hear. That voice, we later learned, was the voice of the river itself. The day of her wedding, the village forgot its troubles. The king sat on his throne at the center of the square, wearing his leopard skin, his crown of ivory shining in the sun. The people surrounded him. Men poured palm wine into calabashes, drinking until their speech was slurred. Women tied colorful wrappers, red, green, yellow, their waists moving like the river waves as they danced to the drums. Children sang her name, Adana, the chosen. Adana, the blessed. The prince, her groom, was dressed in the finest cloth, his chest broad, his eyes proud. He held her hand before the crowd, and the elders blessed them with kola nut and wine. But the elders' eyes were worried. They knew the river never gives without taking. They whispered among themselves, but no one dared to say it out loud. The king was too proud, too loud, too certain that the treasure was his victory. At night, after the dancing and the feasting, when the fires burned low, some women swore they heard Adana's voice by the river. A low, haunting song drifting over the mist. The same song she sang before she disappeared. She is not free, the oldest woman said. Her body is here, but her soul still belongs to the water. For a short time, the treasure made us rich. The beads and gold she brought glittered in the sun. Traders came from far away, bringing cows, salt, iron tools, and bright cloth. The king grew fatter with pride, saying, "The river has bowed to me. I, the lion of this land, have taken her gift and kept it." But the river does not bow. The river waits. The first to suffer were the animals. One morning, a farmer opened his goat pen and found every single one lying stiff, foam at their mouths, water dripping from their ears as if they had drowned in their sleep. Another day, chickens were found drowned inside their coop, though the floor was dry. People whispered, "It is the goddess. She is calling." Then it came to the children. A little boy, strong and playful, woke one morning coughing, choking, gasping for air. His body shook, his lips turned blue, and his skin was wet like he had bathed in the river though he had not left his mat. His mother screamed for the healer, but before the sun reached midday, the boy was dead. The same thing happened to two more children. Mothers clutched their babies tight. Fathers sharpened their machetes, though deep down they knew no blade could fight the river. The king shouted that it was witchcraft, that enemies were cursing us, but the people were afraid to believe him. They knew it was not witchcraft. It was the price of the treasure. The curse did not stop with the children. It came into the palace itself. The prince, Adana's new husband, began to cough. At first it was small, just a dry sound in his chest. Then it grew deeper, louder, wetter. He told his father, "It feels like water is filling me from the inside. I am drowning even on dry land." The healers came. They gave him herbs, roots, and charms. Nothing worked. His chest heaved, his face swelled, his eyes bulged like a man dragged underwater. Adana sat by his side, holding his hand. But she did not cry. Instead, she whispered to him. The sound was strange, like the bubbling of water over stones. Some swore she was calling him to return to the river. By dawn, he was dead. His body smelled of wet mud. His mouth was full of water though he had not drunk. The palace filled with mourning. The king tore his clothes, screaming curses at unseen enemies. But everyone knew. The goddess had taken him. After the prince's death, the sickness spread beyond our village. Traders carried it home with them. Their wives, their children, their neighbors began to cough water too. Whole compounds were found empty, the doors wide open, the floors wet, but not a single person inside. Fishermen swore they saw pale shapes moving under the river, faces they recognized, people who had already died. Hunters returning at night said they heard Adana's voice in the mist, calling their names. Some followed the voice. None returned. The curse no longer belonged to us alone. It spread like smoke through dry forest. Our village became silent. The drums stopped. The market thinned. No laughter, no music, no weddings. Only fear. At night, dogs barked at the empty air. Some huts filled with mist even with their doors shut tight. Mothers woke to find their mouths wet, their babies' hair damp with river water. Old men dreamed of Adana standing in their doorways, her eyes glowing faint, her lips moving to some secret song. One night, I myself went to fetch firewood by the riverbank. The water was still, smooth like glass. But when I looked down, I saw faces in it. Not my reflection. Faces of the dead. Pale, wide-eyed, staring back at me, waiting. When I blinked, they were gone. But from that night, I never went near the river again. Then came the night no one forgot. The river roared like thunder, though the sky was clear. Mist rolled into the village, thick and heavy, covering every hut. And then came the voice. The goddess. Her words cut through the night, soft and sharp. Release her. Release my servant. Or I will take you all. Children screamed. Women wailed. Men hid their faces. The king himself trembled on his throne. At dawn, he called the people together. His face was pale, his crown heavy on his head. His voice shook. We must go to the river. We must beg for mercy. At sunrise, the whole village walked. Men, women, children, even the sick and the weak were carried. The forest was silent. No birds sang. No crickets chirped. When we reached Buruku, the air grew colder. Mist curled above the water. The river moved as if breathing. Then she rose. The goddess came out of the depths, taller than a palm tree. Her skin shone like black stone in rain. Her hair flowed like the waves. Her eyes burned white. She lifted her hand and pointed at Adana. She is mine. You dressed her in beads. You made her a bride. You stole my treasure. Return her, or all will drown. The people fell to their knees. The king dropped his staff. Even the warriors trembled. Adana stepped forward. Her wrappers glowed in the mist, her beads rattled on her chest, but her face was pale. Her eyes glowed faint like the goddess herself. Her voice was calm, steady, full of sorrow. I was never free. My body was here, but my soul never left the river. If I remain here, more will die. Villages will burn. Children will drown. Let me go. The king cried like a broken man. He clutched her hand, shouting, No. You are ours. You gave us wealth. You cannot leave us now. But the river rose in a great wave and struck him down. He lived, but his pride died forever. Adana turned and walked into the water. Each step, the river swallowed her. When only her head was above, she looked at us one last time. The treasure was never yours. Do not call me again. And then she was gone. That night, her auntie, the woman who had beaten her, who had sent her into the cursed river, was found dead. Her body twisted, her eyes wide in terror, her mouth filled with water though no flood had touched her heart. The people said the goddess had judged her. After Adana returned, the death stopped. The sickness faded. The mist lifted. But the treasure turned to dust. The gold became dull stone. The beads cracked like clay. Everything that had made us proud was worthless. The king lived, but he was broken. He never boasted again. He never sent warriors to the river. He never spoke of treasure again. The prince's kingdom, too, fell silent. They rebuilt their homes, but they never touched our waters again. The moral. I am an old man now, but I still tell this story. Because greed blinded us. Greed made the king think he could own what belonged to the spirits. Greed made us believe suffering could turn to wealth without a price. Adana's auntie's wickedness pushed her to the water. The king's hunger chained her soul. And the price was death, sickness, sorrow, and shame. The river is not ours. The goddess is not ours. So when I pass Omi Buruku at night and hear a faint song rising from the mist, I bow my head and walk away. Because I know this truth. Some treasures are not meant for humans. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more.